La Salle des Étoiles, the Room of the Stars, home of the EPT Grand Final. Last year, the biggest stars in poker graced the main stage. This year, new stars will emerge, as the final table is finally on the horizon. It's day 5 of the PokerStars and Monte Carlo Casino EPT Grand Final main event. Just 17 of the 650 players who started remain, and by the end of today, our final table of 8 will be set. Last time, the big stacks bossed the small stacks. Jack Salter ran over the secondary feature table.
I've started with that many, less than that today.
Kenny Hicks ended the day as chip leader, eliminating Connor Shelley along the way.
Got it, guys. Nice final.
While the last remaining EPT champ had an early scare,
I'm on him.
but made it to day 5. So as the penultimate day kicks off, there's a varied mix of players. Some have extensive EPT experience, some have none. One thing they all have in common is the desire to take down this title and etch their names in the record books. Mark Teltscher has the pedigree. He won in London in Season 2 and came runner-up in Barcelona in Season 4.
I would be delighted to be the first man to have won 2 EPT titles. That's what I came here to win, and that's what I'm going to try and do.
But the field is packed with online qualifiers headlined by Sebastian Bretthauer. The 23-year-old German won entry into the tournament using his player points, and he's guaranteed at least 55,000 euros.
After making the money, my goals didn't change at all. I hope every time that someone is busted out and I get one step closer to the final table.
All of the remaining players are out to prove their worth and score the biggest payday of their poker careers. The winner will receive more than 1.2 million euros and one of the most prestigious titles in the world of poker. So there are 17 players left. There will be a redraw at 16, and we've already got action. Steve Silverman is all in with ace-jack. He's been called by Mayo Roca with pocket queens.
Guys, slow down. I haven't even had my coffee yet.
Silverman at risk and a 2-to-1 underdog.
This is pretty much the only way this could play out.
Silverman has 3 immediate outs. The turn card is a spade, and that takes away one of Silverman's outs. He's drawing to 2 cards.
I don't think the river will be saving Silverman.
He's out in 17th. And that means we are down to the final 2 tables. It's already time for a redraw. And Mayo Roca now has more than 2 million.
Number 1 on the Colombian all-time money list and in our hearts.
Silverman cashes for close to 56,000 euros. So the redraw will see the last remaining EPT champ Mark Teltscher bring his chips to the secondary table.
Mark, table's over here. Don't worry, it's not your big blind.
And he'll be sat next to our online qualifier, Sebastian Bretthauer.
If he wins this thing, his ROI will be well into the millions.
Joining them at the secondary table are former chip leaders Malte Mernig and Sebastian von Topperzer, and Italy's Antonio Buonanno, who's had a few cashes on the European Poker Tour. But the 4 biggest stacks are on the main stage. Kenny Hicks, Jack Salter, Martin Sealis, and Mayo Roca. With the short stack, Nicholas Petrangelo, wedged in the 1 seat between the 2 chip leaders.
So all the chips are at the main feature table, huh? Wonder if they'll wait out the other table and just play enormous pots for no reason. What do you think? Tag your tweets, EPT.
Blinds 15,000 and 30,000 with a 4,000 ante. Jack Salter's folded under the gun. Nikita Nikolaev also passes. Martin Sealis has queens under the gun +2. He raises.
Hello, ladies.
Ace 4 of hearts for Mayo Roca.
Mayo Roca's been known to get a little antsy in the pantsy. And things are looking antsy.
This is a 3-bet from the cutoff. Roca makes it 140,000. Petrangelo and Hicks both fold. Ivan Sojnikov gives up the big blind. Action back on Silas.
4-bet coming.
Raise.
He re-raises to 225,000.
Small 4-bet, small enough to just call with ace-4 suited.
Roca isn't counting out a call. He 5-bets to 475k.
Turns his hand into a bluff. I guess he's assuming no real hand would 4-bet that small. Can't say I blame him. And this is usually the point where it goes all in. And if not, Martin Silas should probably have watched more episodes of this show. I really don't see how you can 4-bet fold queens ever unless you have a ridiculous live read. Like he would literally have to be listening to an Oreo for me to fold here.
Wow, he folds!
Oh my. Who folds queens anymore?
Show one, show one, show one.
One ace and second ace.
So just show the red ace then.
Choose one.
Woohoo!
Take it. Yeah, that one.
That one.
Yeah.
It's the ace of hearts that got flipped over.
Ace 2.
Two. Second ace. Black.
So Mayo Roca takes the chip lead. Meanwhile, at the secondary table, Matthias Rutzi has been eliminated.
More like Matthias whoopsie. Got it all in. Ace-queen versus kings. Youch.
It was Antonio Buonanno who ended Rutzi's run.
Which language again? French and German?
Italy.
Italy. Italy.
You?
London. You play poker?
Yes.
Professional? You?
No.
No? What do you do?
Why do people do this weird accent thing?
You're professional.
No, I play loose.
You play many EPTs.
Very loose.
You're professional, huh?
No.
What do you do? What's your job? What's your job?
Yes, I. Come si dice in inglese? I say. I have imprenditore, come si dice?
Apprentice. Okay.
I don't think that's what he said.
I think he's trying to tell him he's an entrepreneur.
Let's just slap a mustache on him, call him Geppetto.
Our qualifier, Sebastian Bretthauer, is sat between Teltscher and Buonanno. Think he likes a seat draw? Bretthauer currently 10th in chips. Antonio Buonanno is 3rd on the leaderboard. Kenny Hicks has dropped down to 2nd with Mayo Roca in front, playing 2.27 million. That's a 75 big blind stack. So 15 players remain. And Bretthauer is in action, calling on the button at our secondary feature table.
Limping the button. Classic not recommended move. Is it too late to change online qualifiers? I'm kidding. It's actually pretty okay against these two stack sizes in the blinds.
Teltscher in the small with King Deuce.
I like that play. Playing friendly. Maybe. I haven't looked.
Cheap to complete, and I'm sure Mark doesn't want to play a huge pot with King Deuce.
Carlson with 9-3 off in the big.
Might I recommend checking? Checking.
He checks. 3-way to the flop. And that flop is Queen Jack 10 with 2 clubs. What a flop for Bretthauer.
How did this happen? 3 pieces of cheese and everyone flops a little Gouda.
Action check to our qualifier. He'll bet his pair and monster draw. And gets 2 folds.
Nice flop for me.
Yeah,
I had a nice flop.
Wow.
Whoa. Yeah. You're not folding?
That was a sick flop.
Surprised he got 2 folds.
Very nice.
Thank you.
Bretthauer hovering around 1.1 million, slightly below the tournament average. Meanwhile, at the main feature table, action is on Mayo Roca, who's got pocket queens. There's been a raise from Nikita Nikolaev, called by Martin Silas.
I think anything other than putting in another bet here would be a mistake. Mayo Roca. Roca-Cola, muy delicioso. Roca.
Okay, he 3-bets. He makes it 183,000.
Look, he's the one that's taking forever. I'm just filling the airtime. Hey, Nicky Petrangelo, take a hike. Tell your Maz I said hey.
Kenny Hicks in the big blind. Also passes. It's back on Nikolaev.
I think I like calling here.
That's not a call. That's a 4-bet to 367,000.
Sealess? See ya.
Back on Roca.
I'm not a fan of this 4-bet.
All in.
Roca 5-bet jams.
4-bet calling is terrible, and 4-bet folding is also terrible. Why does nobody want to see flops?
Call.
Nikolaev calls. He is the player at risk, and he is a huge underdog.
I don't know if Nikolaev's play was based on Roca's rep or his own frustration or both, but either way, it's probably going to cost him.
This is a huge pot. 3 million. King 7-6 on the flop. Queen still way ahead.
Spades aren't any help. Nikolaev's only backdoor is 8-9.
The turn card is a queen, leaving Nikolaev drawing dead. He's out in 15th place.
Bark, bark.
And Maya Roca increases his chip lead.
I want to sing Maya Roca's name to the tune of My Sharona, but they say we can't afford it, so I'm going to have to use Twinkle Twinkle Little Star instead.
Vetoed. Nikita Nikolaev will collect more than 62,000 euros from the cage. And Maya Roca is now playing a stack of close to 4 million.
How does it turn? That doesn't even make any sense.
Now, I have it on excellent authority that Bono lives in that building.
Really?
Yeah.
That is awesome. I love you two. Red Wine, it's a classic.
No, that's UB40.
Oh.
Their castle's up there on the hill.
Oh. Pretty sweet moat.
The PokerStars and Monte Carlo Casino EPT Grand Final is drawing to a close, but one competition still running is the Formula One Simulator Challenge. Get the fastest time and win free accommodation for the start of Season 11 in Barcelona. And as it stands, the player with the best time is our online qualifier, Sebastian Bretthauer.
The 100 FPP story is crazy enough until now. I'm just excited.
Formula One, what a joke. If they're not making the same left turn for 4 hours, it's not racing.
To be fair, both are equally mind-numbing. At the secondary table, Bretthauer has just folded the small blind to a button raise from Antonio Bonanno. So action's on Mark Teltscher in the big blind.
Sorry.
And he moves all in.
I think it's a good reshove against someone who's going to be opening a lot and calling a little. It's even going to have okay equity against a tight calling range.
My friend.
I appreciate it.
Bonanno folds.
He does appreciate it. He really does.
The last, eh?
Ace hand, nice hand. Very, very nice hand.
The last.
We're friends. We are friends here. We don't try to create big pots. If they get knocked out, we win big competition here.
Next time, Michael. Huh?
No. First time I have a big hand.
Bonanno's son told a lie like that, his nose would grow.
You don't respect me.
I respect you. Didn't I say I respected this man?
I didn't hear him say that. Did you guys hear him say that?
You're a gentleman.
The words were nice, but the tone sounded like an insult.
And I like you, more to the point. It's not just a question of respect, it's a question of liking. J'aime toi.
That's French.
I think you're a nice man.
I understand.
I think you're a nice man and a gentleman.
If you speak slowly, I understand.
Okay. I think you're a gentleman. You behave very well, and you're a great ambassador for the game of poker. I mean that with my heart.
Okay.
You understand?
Yes.
No, say in Italian. Tu compris? Espresso, now that's Italian.
Well, the final table is in sight. Make it to the last 8 and you're guaranteed nearly 129,000 euros with a shot at the first prize of 1.2 million. Blinds are still 15-30. Kenny Hicks has King-Queen under the gun.
What's the frequency, Kenneth, of your pre-flop raises so far this show? Very high.
He raises to 60,000. Gets a fold from Sochnikov. Junk for Salter. He mucks. Sealess is out. Vasily Firsau has ace-4 suited on the button.
Seems reasonable on the bouton.
He calls. Roca in the small blind. With Queen 10 of clubs.
Seems very reasonable from the small blind.
He calls as well. And that's a call from Nicholas Petrangelo in the big blind with 8-9.
Assume he was going to call with any two cards. He was getting a better price than Ninja Turtle Valentine's on February 15th.
So 4-way to the flop. And Roca flops the nuts.
Roca. R-O-C-A Roca. Roca.
Action check to Petrangelo, who's got 2 pair. And he bets 100,000.
In general, probably fine, but some folks might opt to check raise.
Hicks and Firsau both fold.
Awful spot for Petrangelo. Roca could very easily put in a raise. There's plenty he could get action from. It's easier to be semi-bluffing here than figuring out the guest star is a killer on an episode of Law & Order.
That's a raise to 287,000.
There's actually somewhat of an argument for folding here.
All in.
Petrangelo bets it all.
Fold.
And Roca calls. And Petrangelo only has 4 outs. He needs an 8 or a 9 for a full house.
At least there are no turns that have him drawing dead.
The turn card is an ace. Just a 10% chance of survival for Nicholas Petrangelo.
Nicky, come on.
He's out.
Good game, guys. Good luck.
Ah, poor Nicky. We're gonna have a big party for Nicky Petrangelo. Ma's making Mastracholi and Brajol. Come on.
Roca wins another huge pot and KOs another opponent, sending Nicholas Petrangelo to the rail in 14th place. That's worth just over 62,000 euros. What a day for Roca. He's up over 4.5 million now.
I started playing poker around the time that I was finishing high school, so I was like 18. Around the time I started to go to college, I was already making decent money, so I paid for my college. I tried not to let college go. I made like a parallel career with poker, you know. My mom, she's not very strict with us. Once I started like to make money, pay for my college, just help at home too, she didn't have much to say against me. I qualified to the main event through a 320 Hyper Turbo tournament, so I was pretty lucky to win that. Amazing, yeah, but not as much as the guy that won 100 FPPs. Winning this title I can see it definitely changing my life positively. The reputation, the success about winning this tournament, it would mean a lot to me. I don't know, maybe I cry, maybe I don't, but it would be very, very special to me.
Geez, let's hope he doesn't cry. I never know what to do. Do I hug them?
For his sake, no. Well, Roca has a 146 big blind stack. He has a better than 2-1 lead over his nearest competitor, Kenny Hicks. Other players in the top half of the leaderboard include Antonio Bonanno and Jack Salter. Our qualifier, Sebastian Bretthauer, is one of the shorter stacks with 34 big blinds. The player in immediate danger is the last remaining former EPT champ, Mark Teltscher, playing 17 bigs. So back to the main stage. Ivan Sojnikov folds. Jack Salter.
I think he should change his name to Jack Halter and walk around with an exposed belly. Okay, maybe not. I'm going to work on that one.
6-7. That goes in the muck. King 9 suited for Martin Silas. Raises from the cutoff, makes it 60,000. Vasily Firsau has Queen Jack on the button. And he 3-bets, re-raising to 168k.
Not your typical hand for a 3-bet.
Roca has 9s in the small blind and folds.
Do you see this face I'm making right now? This is my baffled face. See it? Can you cut to it? We can't cut to it. Rest assured I'm making my baffled face.
Action back on Silas. He folds as well. Firsau wins the pot uncontested. And he's being railed by fellow countryman Nikolaev Pabal.
And Mihails Morozovs. He's a screamer.
Well, Vasily Firsau made it to this stage of the tournament last year and was involved in a very dramatic hand on the final table bubble. 2 players at risk here.
And this could be a double elimination to get us down to the final 8.
Johnny needs to hit an ace or a queen. Firsau needs to hit an ace and a 5. But there's a 9 on the flop, and that pretty much seals the fate of Johnny Lodden and Vasily Firsau.
Mercier off to share the good news.
We're done, guys.
Really?
I mean, unless they catch runners.
That is a runner.
Oh.
A 3 on the river, and it is a chop!
You guys are witnessing the sickest hand in EPT history, probably.
That hand was proof positive that it ain't over till it's over. Having said that, Firsau still went out in 10th.
Over to the secondary feature table, where action's been folded to Antonio Bonanno on the button. He folds.
Nothing's silly. Nothing's silly. I'm telling you. You enjoy my coffee break in peace. If you do something stupid, you're in deep trouble.
Security.
Are you sure? What was your raise to? 70,000? I did tell you.
Jack 10 can give you a severe case of FOMO.
Why did you have to do that? It really was totally unnecessary.
Teltscher with pocket 3s.
Really wants that break.
I folded a huge hand there.
It was a,
You show one?
I swear to you, it was a very good fold.
Can I see one of them?
No.
No? Okay. Unreasonable. You swear to me. This is going to be a swing.
You're a friend?
You swear to me on your mother's life you had a good hand.
I had a very
No, I want you to say that. I swear on my mother's life I had a good
swear on my mother's life. You know each other?
Don't do that again, okay? If you don't have a good hand. I like you, so.
If this were an episode of The Twilight Zone, somebody's mother would be in some serious trouble right now.
Back to the main feature table, where Vasily Firsau has raised from the cutoff with aces. Action on Ivan Sozhnikov, who's got ace-king in the big blind.
Bring out the stretcher.
All in. Call.
All in.
Call.
Oh yes, he's called.
Cooler.
I'll say, I haven't seen a cooler this big since a Rocky training montage. And oddly, he is about to resemble a punched-up side of beef.
Помнишь, я тебе рассказывал про ту король в Туле? Это еще ни о чем не говорит. Я об этом уже подумал.
Guys, I don't think this is the time to be talking about your favorite episodes of 2.5 Men.
Sozhnikov drawing incredibly thin.
Thinner than John Cryer's hair.
Less than 1% equity.
And now he's drawing deader than Uncle Charlie.
Out in 13th.
Nice hand. Вася, Вася, Вася. Поздравляю, хорошая рука. Good luck.
Sozhnikov will collect 69,000 euros. And Vasily Firsau is now second in chips. This year, he looks set to make it to the final table of the EPT Grand Final.
I mean, which one do you think is Bono?
Who cares?
Just 12 remain in the hunt for the PokerStars and Monte Carlo Casino EPT Grand Final main event title. Amazingly, 8 of the remaining field qualified for this tournament online, so there's a good chance we're going to create a new star on the tour. Mayo Roca's the current frontrunner. He's taken the chip lead after dispatching a host of challengers.
You know, I don't want to say Monaco's expensive, but I saw a guy paying a parking ticket with a Picasso.
Blinds are now 20,000, 40,000, and we're going to sweat with the chip leader, Mayo Roca. Ace-5 suited in the hijack. He raises. Jack Salter on the button. This looks like a re-raise. A 3-bet to 195,000. Multimernik has just joined the feature table. He folds the small blind. Martin Sealis gives up the big blind. It's back on Roca.
Now, being out of position puts a whole new paint job on things. We should really either be 4-betting or folding this.
Roca calls.
Okay. Ace-5 doesn't flop very well. Okay, again.
Roca has top pair and a wheel draw.
Well, we flopped well. Basically, what this means is that we got to call, flop, and turn, and then reevaluate on the river.
Roca is playing in flow. He's checked to the pre-flop aggressor.
Check behind would be nice, but for a third time, okay.
Salter set to continue. 135,000.
Pretty much nothing we can do here but call. Folding would be ridiculous, and raising would be dumber than the premise to a Rob Schneider movie. The animal, the hot chick.
There's the call from Roca. 750,000 in the middle. The turn card is the 10 of hearts.
Well, there's not much beating us now that wasn't before.
Roca checks for a second time.
Please make this a small bet.
Looks like Salter will bet again. 190,000.
You know how you can be on the phone with your friend and the call drops and then your friend doesn't call back, but you weren't done with the conversation, so you're forced to call? That's us right now. We're forced to call.
Yellow chips worth 25,000 each. The blue chips are worth 5,000. So Roca calls. The river card, the jack of hearts. So Roca doesn't improve, just top pair with a weak kicker.
Great.
He checks for a third time. Salter checks behind.
Yes, no decision on the river.
Roca tables ace-5, Salter tables
Plays.
ace-6. Roca's outkicked.
That is not a cool thing to say. Jack's a cool dude, but when he tries to act cool,
Knew I should bet that river.
you probably shouldn't have bet flop or turn. What would you have done if you got check raised, Jack? What would you have done if you got check raised?
You win.
Yeah.
Oh. I'm just trying to figure it out.
Yesterday I had a chop pot, and I was looking at it for like 1 minute. I was like, is that a chop? Do I lose? Is that a chop? Do I lose? And Feraldo's next to me. He's like, what are you talking about? You lose. I was like, oh, sorry, everyone, and just mucked it. And then whoever it was on my right was like, that was a chop, you idiot. Like, so I just threw away 100K or something.
See, I'm not the only one who does it, people who tweet mean things at me.
Over to the secondary table, where action's been folded to Mark Teltscher in the cutoff. And he raises for most of his stack.
And this is a hand you do not want to get action with.
Carlson on the button, folds. Alilovic in the small blind also folds. Von top outset in the big blind.
Can I get a count?
Has sixes.
Yep, he doesn't want action, but he is gonna get it.
All in.
Von top outset shoves on Teltscher, who puts the rest in.
Roll over Beethoven because Teltscher is a big dog.
I got a chance. You're gonna need it. Nice hand.
Not yet.
Well, it's not a nice hand, I mean.
Boy, I'm really gonna miss these awkward little convos.
The last remaining former champ at risk.
No, no, no.
And Von Topetzer flops him dead.
Less sweat than someone with anhydrosis. That's the medical condition where you can't sweat. It's potentially life-threatening. Tournament life-threatening.
No backdoors? Oh. Sick.
Thanks.
Mark Teltscher out in 12th.
Thank you.
Von Topperzer's bogus journey continues.
Thank you.
And Teltscher's run at a second EPT title ends here. And with his elimination, 11 players remain, 8 of them online qualifiers, and this is how much they qualified for.
So these 8 guys are in for less money combined than one person who bought in directly? Huh.
Yep, and they're all guaranteed to win at least 83,200 euros. Well, back on the main stage, we're going to flip reverse things and play a hand against my Roca. We're going to sweat with Jack Salter.
Man, I hope he doesn't play this hand like he played the last one. I'm about to get real frustrated.
So Roca's raised the button. It's Salter's big blind.
Against a button raise, this is a call.
He does call. So he's out of position without the betting lead.
I hate this hand and I hate being out of position. I want to go back to Roca. I want to live at Dad's house.
Jack 9 deuce on the flop. Salter checks.
Now, there's an argument to folding to a bet, but calling is probably what most everyone would do.
Here comes the bet. 105,000.
Take one off, maybe improve, maybe our opponent shuts down, maybe everyone agrees on an 11-way chop. Does anybody want a chop?
Silence means no. Salter calls.
Cool shot of the dealer. There's your new profile pic, brah.
A 10 on the turn. Salter now has an up and down straight draw.
All right, all right, all right.
He checks for a second time. And Roca checks behind. A queen on the river, a straight for Salter.
Oh man, I totally didn't even realize that our straight draw is kind of bunked though. We hate this straight. It's the dummy end.
Salter checks.
If Roca bets, we're going to be in a more awkward spot than having to take the middle urinal.
430,000 in the middle.
And the stalls are full.
Roca bets 385k.
I think this is almost always a king. CSI, river bet.
Good hand. Bluff hand. Don't know.
Save it for the interrogation room, Horatio. Jack's gonna think this is nuts or air, but I think this is always nuts.
Sorry, everyone. Really don't know what to do. Probably not going to raise, but apart from that.
Thank the maker.
I mean, you look like a bluffer, so it's pretty hard to fold.
Jack's trying to get a read, but I think the bet says it all, and it's saying, I have a king.
But then I look like a hero. Why would you bluff me? I'm not going to fold. Why would you bluff me? You could just bluff someone else.
Well, Jack, you are the only person in the hand. Also, he's not bluffing. I promise you.
I'm really sorry.
Are you? I'll be trying so hard not to laugh.
Alright, man. Nice hand. Well, nice bet, sorry.
Salter folds, and sure enough, Roca had a king.
Yes, wait, we were right. Sorry, I checked out for a minute.
Jack Salter still reasonably pained. He's really not sure if he made a good laydown there.
I had ace-8 offsuit in the big blind, which I think is more than good enough to be a profitable call against his button range. I check, he bet. I mean, a lot of the time I think I'm actually winning here because I'm expecting him to continue most of the time, and I called. Then on the turn, brought a 10, which now meant that there were 3 cards to a straight on the board, and I had the lower end of the straight draw with my ace-8. Now, I checked, really hoping he was going to check back and I can make something on the river. On the river, we have a queen, which is a very interesting card because it brings 4 to a straight and completes my straight. But then at the same time, people have a lot of kings in their range. And I felt that I'm not the kind of opponent people would try and push around and make big bluffs against because I've proven several times in this tournament I'm capable of making a call without the nuts. So when I checked, he thought for a while and then bet 385,000 into 450k or so. I was really looking at him hard, and I think I'm happy with my fold, and I would do it again. Nice hand. Maybe he shows 3-2 off and I look like an idiot and folded one of the best. I have folded a straight, but you know, it happens. You got to fold sometimes. Let's hope I'm right. Fingers crossed.
Yes, Jack, you were right. Now quit waiting for the award ceremony and get back in there.
Well, the 2 players in that hand, Roca and Salter, are 1 and 2 in chips. Kenny Hicks is 3rd on the leaderboard. 3 players have fewer than 20 big blinds each. And we have officially placed Magnus Carlson in the danger zone.
Somebody call Kenny Loggins. Danger zone!
11 remain, 3 eliminations away from the final table. Ace-10 for Vasily Firsau. He raises from the cutoff. Kenny Hicks also has ace-10 in the small blind.
Wouldn't it be sweet if Kenny Hicks' middle name started with a C, then his name would look like Kenny Chicks? Kenny Chicks, dude! Come on, dude, Chicks!
He 3-bets. He re-raises to 225,000. Jack Salter with Queen-8 in the big blind.
Jack Salter looks like he's about to get funky with his chick in.
He 4-bets. Makes it 420,000.
He's pretty lucky he's up against the absolute bottom of Chix's 3-bet value range. Not much he can do here.
Firsau's folded, and Hicks folds as well.
Everything's coming up, Salter.
Nice seat you have.
Sorry?
It's a nice seat you have.
Yeah, comfy.
Best chairs on any poker tour anywhere, and you can take that to the bank.
Well, at the secondary table, there was a clash of the short stacks, which left Miroslav Alilovic with less than one big blind. He's all in here. Sebastian von Topherzer calls for 40k. Buonanno can check his option.
He does have the best hand of non-all-in players.
He checks.
More like Miroslav Alilovic, am I right?
At least he's got it in with a good hand. 8-7 deuce, top pair for von Topherzer. He bets 50,000.
Antonio, arrivederci.
He folds, so the cards go on their back.
Queen's in good shape, and Alilovic is set to more than double up.
I think I'm gonna suck out. Sorry. Sorry in advance.
No, don't do that.
It's a 5 coming on the turn. A sick feeling.
Sorry, dude.
Well, the turn card is the 9 of clubs.
Good game.
Von Topherzer does now have additional outs. Oh, 5 on the river!
Sorry.
Good luck.
Alilovic out in 11th. We're down to 10 players, 2 tables of 5.
Miroslav won his way on here from a reality show. I guess we should call it Keeping Up with the Deep Cashians.
And von Topherzer now has close to 2 million. If you want to play in an EPT event, go to PokerStars.com. There are qualifiers every day.
Top of the morning to you.
Is this Bono? I'm sorry, is this Mr. Bono?
No, go away. I don't know who you're talking about. Never even heard of Bono. Neither has the Edge.
What?
10 players remain at the PokerStars and Monte Carlo Casino EPT Grand Final. At the feature table, actions on Vasily Firsau, who finished in 10th place last year.
500.
And he has just raised for most of his stack.
Why not the whole thing?
Maya Roca has folded the button.
500,000.
Kenny Hicks in the small blind also folds.
625, yeah. Total.
Jack Salter in the big. As King-Queen suited.
I'm almost certain I'm calling you. I'm just going to make sure.
Even though we know Jack's dominated, I think it's Cram City against Firsau stack.
Just double check the count for me for the... That's 500.
Dude, this is not a tank. It's 2 more big blinds to put them all in. What are you doing?
$115 behind.
If this were Jack Bauer instead of Jack Salter, this episode would be over by now.
Let me just check what you got.
Boy, is Vasily gonna be surprised when he sees King-Queen suited get turned over. This is like a Jack 10 tank.
I can afford 500. Let's see a flop.
What?
We're gonna see a flop. You heard him.
Well, there's a 99.9% chance the rest of it goes in on the flop, which is 10-9-4. And that's Salter's code for I'm moving all in.
Man alive.
Firsau calls. And Salter is drawing to 7 outs. He needs a king or a jack, or Vasily Firsau will double up.
That happened one street later than it should have. King-Queen suited plays really well against Firsau's range.
A 9 on the turn. Firsau now an 84% favorite.
He's not going out in 10th again.
The river is an ace. Firsau doubles up to nearly 1.3 million.
Kind of bizarre the way it went down, but I think that's the way it was always going to end up. It was fine, dude. Don't play results. Couple of Eastern Europe's finest over on the rail. Also, Alex Biliker and Nikolaev Pabal.
Well, let's head straight over to the secondary table where Magnus Carlson has called all in after Malta Mernig shoved on him from the small blind.
Stand. Come on.
This is for a lot of chips.
The Swede is at risk, but he does have the best hand. 7-3 deuce on the flop. King's holding.
Carlson's been waiting for a spot like this. He has been patient.
Just has to fade an ace on the river.
Merdig never should have changed out of his lucky hoodie. Ah, well.
A 5 on the river, and Carlson doubles up.
And Mernig is crippled.
Yeah, he lost a ton of chips there.
Huge pot and a huge spot, though, for Carlson. He's pretty much a lock to make the final table now.
Playing 2.8 million.
And Mernig's pretty much a lock to burn this hoodie.
What?
Meanwhile, our qualifier is hanging in there, but he's pretty short, 805,000.
What a sick run this kid's having. He's got to make the final table at least. Come on!
Back to the main stage. Action folded to Jack Salter on the button. Pocket jacks.
Pocket jacks for Jack. Ironic, isn't it?
I'm not sure that's technically irony.
What? This is like O. Henry and Alanis Morissette had a baby and named it this exact situation.
Salter raises. Gets a fold from Silas in the small blind. Vasily Firsau in the big blind has ace-10. He has 22 big blinds.
Oh.
And he shoves.
Big shove.
Cool.
Salter calls.
Great spot for jacks. All three of them.
He is a 72% favorite, which means Vasily Firsau is on the verge of finishing 10th in this tournament for the second year running.
No flushes, please.
Not even clubs? Okay, no clubs.
Good luck.
2-time.
2-time what?
10th place.
In this?
Yeah, last year.
Oh, Jesus.
10th place.
So sick.
Oh, no. He's using the sympathy angle for the flips. Oh, that's tough, man. At least he sat back down, so, you know. Still favourite.
Maybe one ace.
Oh, this is such a slow roll. This is real tease, man. More brutal for you, obviously.
Firsau looking for an ace on the flop. Queen 8-4. Jack's an even bigger favorite now.
Oh, this could be 10th place again, the second time for Firsau. Jack Salter, limp with anticipation.
Firsau down to 7%. 3 outs.
Yeah, I'd have the crazy mumbles too, buddy.
The river's a king. Lightning strikes twice.
Both times a huge bummer.
Unlucky, man. That's so sick. Unlucky. Really well played as well. You're one of the toughest for sure, bro.
Once again, Firsau misses out on a seat at the final table. So we are down to 9 players. Time for the final redraw of the tournament.
Yikes, guys, maybe turn down the testosterone a little bit.
That was a good high five, man. I hope the camera got that. That was like, BAM!
You know when I said he wasn't going out in 10th again? I lied.
That was the worst sweat of my life. I know I was a big favourite and I shouldn't, like, even sweat, but, like, wow, I was myself there. I didn't feel that lucky, even with the jack of clubs.
So we're down to 9 players, which means everyone will have a seat on the main stage, but we need to lose 1 more before we get to our final table.
Low card is eliminated. I'm kidding, but seriously, all of these 9 guys should be very thankful that Vasily Firsau took it on the chin, going out in 10th place 2 years in a row.
Один из моих лучших друзей, Вадим Маркушевский, занял тоже 10-е место в этом турнире. И когда мы ехали вот в прошлом году, ну, я ему сказал, что... Говорю, ну что, ты поехал бы сейчас, расстроился за 10-м местом. Он говорит, нет. Ну, в итоге я занял 10-е место. Перед этой поездкой мы опять проговорили насчет, ну, как не поехать на 10-е место. Ну, надо ехать, надо. Ну, и опять занял 10-е место. То есть...
Still an amazing achievement to go that deep in back-to-back grand finals. So the final 9 have taken their seats on the main stage. Our qualifier is positioned between the 2 big stacks, Salter and Roca. The short stack is Martin Silas in the 9 seat. He's playing 14 big blinds. Action folded to Antonio Buonanno. He passes. Sebastian von Topphautzer has 9-10 suited.
Please welcome these very excellent suited connectors.
He's raising.
Oi.
And Martin Sealis quickly shoves with ace-queen.
He could not wait. Wonder if that's a tell.
Kenny Hicks on the button. Folds. Jack Salter in the small blind. Has ace-jack.
Oh, this is a really close spot with ace-jack suited. On the final table bubble, I don't think he's going to be ahead of Sealis very often, but there's real money to be made from busting someone.
Salter requests the all-in triangle.
Nanu, nanu.
Brett Hauer in the big blind. Passes. The other Sebastian folds.
Jack of clubs, bro.
Oh, now he likes the jack of clubs.
So Sealis is at risk, but he does have the best hand.
Domination Nation on the EPT Grand Final table bubble.
Whoa, 2 clubs on the flop.
Oh, that's gross. What a sweat. It's like going for a jog wearing a garbage bag.
Salter has 12 out with 2 cards to come. Board pairs on the turn.
Decent chance of a chop now, too.
3, please. Everyone loves the chop pot.
Yes, they do. It's the king of clubs, the nut flush for Salter, and Martin Sealis bubbles the final table.
Ah, this poor guy. Gosh, brutal.
Sorry, man. Unlucky. Nice playing with you.
Sealis receives just over 100k, and the last main event final table of EPT 10 is set.
So we're done? We're done for today?
Oh, yeah.
Huh?
Yeah, congrats. I make a bad call, makes you 20,000 euros. Nice.
It's a key stat, Joe. 7 of the final 8 qualified for this tournament online.
No way.
Yes, way. Sebastian Brett Hauer looking at a massive return on investment. But it's Jack Salter who'll come into the final day of the tournament as chip leader.
Not a bad spot to be in, and everybody loves a good luck message. What a gracious dude.
So, our qualifier, Brett Hauer, has locked up nearly 129,000 euros, but he'll come into the final as the short stack. Roca had a great day, he's second on the leaderboard, but Jack Salter is the man in command, with nearly 5.2 million.
As well as having the big stack, I guess I do think I'm one of the stronger players in the field, but within poker, most people feel the same, and you know they've obviously got a lot of skills to get up there, and there are some tough players there. So I'll be showing everyone all the respect they deserve.
Next time, it's the final table and the conclusion of season 10.
You boosted me, Vienna.
I remember.
7 of the 8 won their seats online.
Be careful.
It's a warning.
And there's still 3.7 million euros up for grabs.
You don't want a deal?
Who will be crowned the 10th EPT Grand Final champion?
Why won't you die?